Yuba, it's me, and welcome to episode 26 of The Weekly Whisper. I'm your host, Elian Habanero, and I'm here to talk all things 365 Pro Wrestling, and since it is episode 26, do you know what that means? That means this is the very special 6-month anniversary show. Now, getting into this, when I thought it'd be okay to have guests, when I started the show, we could have had something better planned, we could have had a big thing, but I'm still celebrating. I feel like we should. I feel like this is a great milestone to make it 6 months of having my very own 365 Pro Wrestling news show. So the very first episode dropped January 7th, 2020, around the same time that the 365 brand launched. I mean, it launched about a month before that and everything, but things were just starting to get put in motion and everything was going and shows were starting to go. And every Tuesday since then, I have dropped an episode, and even some weeks there hasn't been that much news to talk about, but we always found a way to try and make it as interesting, as possible, even with hiccups and stuff like that. And I just want to thank my cameraman, I want to thank my editor, I want to thank 365 for allowing me to have this platform, and of course anyone else who has contributed, everybody who has watched and commented and shared and liked and all that good stuff. And of course I want to thank myself. I'm very proud of doing this. It's something I wanted to do. I wanted to become like a media guy, and I'm just looking towards the future and thinking of how promising this show is going to become when I can start having guests and have live events will resume in action to talk about and all that stuff. And I still feel like it's a solid show without all that stuff, but I'm just looking at the heights it's going to reach eventually, and I'm just happy to be here, happy to celebrate with you guys, and I've even been hearing whispers that my wish may come true sooner than people may think. I know in BC the regulations are getting, I guess, not restricted, lifted a little bit quicker than out here in Ontario in some parts of BC, and it could be sooner rather than later that we can begin talking that the live events up again, and wouldn't that be something? And man, the BC area, Pacific Northwest, has some of the most great talent right now. It's over the last 5 years, it's really emerged as one of the hotbeds, and it goes out. Sometimes it gets overlooked, I find, in the media and whatnot, but the people that know about it know there is some tremendous promise out there, and guys that have been doing it a long time that show that it's going to keep being great, and it's going to be an exciting time when 365 picks out back up there. And then, of course, in Ontario, I don't think we're that far away in Ontario, as I see baseball starting to pick up and some of the other sports, hockey and whatnot, and basketball. So obviously today is the last day of June, and that means we're gonna, in a week or two, we're gonna get the YouTube numbers in, as the last 2 months have been record-breaking. This month looks stellar so far as well, and I'm happy to be part of the YouTube channel, so subscribe to that. Daily videos, they put out so much content, and let's keep that momentum going into July, as I consider myself a part of the YouTube roster. And then also, since it's the last day of June, July 1st, tomorrow, is Canada Day, and 365 is going to be representing. They're going to be a part of the Campbell River Virtual Canada Day celebration, which can be found online. I believe you can just type that into Facebook, and it'll come up, or just on a search engine, and it will come up, and there's a website where you can live stream all the action, all the performances, all the local stuff going on. But if you do live, like for people out here like me, I can watch it that way. But if you live out in the Campbell River area, the local area, I believe it is going to be on the local Shaw TV channel. So that's going to be great. And then also coming up soon here, it's about 3.5 weeks away, is the 15-year anniversary of the 365 brand, and more stuff keeps getting added to that online celebration, and people are starting just to get really anxious for that, because it's going to be really great from all the stuff that I've seen and stuff that I've just heard about, and I'm sure so much more. And then, of course, the thing that's become the most popular, I've done a bunch of different segments. I did Comment Corner, I did the Rumor Roundup, couple other ones that escape my mind at the time, but the one that's still hanging on there is the top 5 list. People seem to enjoy that, and who am I to not give the viewers what they want? And I enjoy doing it too. I just make a top 5 list, whoever comes to my head first, I pick them, and then it goes up and people can debate on it and pick their list and tell me if they agree, disagree, right or wrong, all that fun stuff. It's good to get people talking. So the first one I have this week is the top 5 botches or bloopers in the history of 365 PWA. And at number 5, the one I put in is a lot of times guys or girls, the wrestlers trip, or the managers, or the referee, or the ring announcers, and there's been some pretty good ones, but just this one has to be the top one for me. It was in a match in Guelph at the Red Chevron Club. Eazy-E went, coming in for his entrance, he went to jump over the top rope, but his foot got caught, and it was just so much better than any of the other ones. Just the way he face planted, and just the angle that his foot got caught. He didn't just trip, he splatted. And that was funny to see. I know people still talk about that to this day. So Eazy-E getting his leg caught on the top rope, jumping in the ring from the apron, is the number 5 spot. And we got a special guest here to announce the number 4 botch in the history of 365 PWA. So take it away, sir, Mr. Tex Lexus.
Hey there, 365 Pro Wrestling fans. First off, be on the lookout this Christmas season for the brand new Talking Text Doll, featuring 10 of my favorite catchphrases. Now, coming in at number 4 on the 365 PWA Top 5 Botches of All Time, this is a good one. Back in October of 2018, my temple, Lenny Lilac, Jeff Black, and CeCe Moss took on the team of Joey Allen, Beautiful Bia, and Elian Habanero. Now, as it's customary, Elian came storming through the curtain like somebody threw hot peppers in his britches. Well, he was running around the ring, and he tripped over the foot of a fan, crashing into 2 ladies drinking beer in the front row, spilling beer everywhere. And when he hit the ground, he damn near knocked himself unconscious. It was fantastic. Now, lucky for us, there were some other fans in the front row that had some drinking straws that cleaned up the mess for us. Now, Elian spilling beer everywhere and knocking himself out, that should be number 1 in my opinion. I'm so glad I've never done something that stupid. Back to you, Elian.
Well, Mr. Tex, you are absolutely right. That was definitely the most embarrassing moment for me I've ever had, and what are the odds it would just happen that way? Of course, I've tripped on my entrance running around 3 times, but of course this time someone's foot got in the way and I'm just running around, it's all a blur, so I'm not paying attention too carefully where my feet touching, and then of course, boom, and they just bought the beer. And I was rattled. I believe the match was me, Bia, and Joey Allen versus CeCe Moss, Jeff, and Lenny Lilac with Tex as the manager. And I was rattled for the rest of the match. I was just, you could probably see me blushing the whole match, and I just felt so bad. But I noticed how you mentioned that you've never done something so stupid. So yes, number 4 on the list is me, Elian, tripping onto 2 females in the front row. But Tex, you have done something silly yourself. There was a time, I believe it was back when Tex was the commissioner, and so he had to come out and say something to address a situation or make a match or something like that. I can't remember exactly what the topic that he was talking about. But, so he grabs the microphone and he addresses the crowd and he's going, talking away about everything. But he did not turn on the microphone. And not only that, he didn't notice that he didn't turn on the microphone, and the crowd is chanting, "Turn the mic on" to him, but he's so carried away and so focused on what he's doing, to him it's just background noise and he's not paying attention to what they're saying, so it went on for quite a while, until he realized that he had not turned on the microphone. So Tex, you're not getting out of this unscathed. You're on the list at number 3, top 5 botches in the history of 365 PWA. And at number 2, I couldn't put just one. There's been multiple times in matches that the ropes have broke. I know there was one, it was one of the anniversary shows, me, Paul Wright, Reggie Marley, Buck 10. Paul Wright gave me a boot in the corner that broke the ring rope. There was one with Eazy-E, Eric Kearney, and John Tavius in Guelph Red Chevron Club. He did missed a boot in the corner or something, and the rope exploded. There was Jeff Black was getting ready for his match against Kobe Durst and running the ropes, and before the match even started, and luckily in all these circumstances I believe everyone was okay. And then also another time in Guelph, Jimmy King hit his splash onto the second rope on Joey Allen and the rope exploded, and Joey Allen, being a clever guy, actually used the rope to his advantage through that. So all the times the rope's breaking, I'm sure we have some highlights of that. And so that's the number 2 spot. And then the one that I've always heard talked about the most throughout the years, the number 1 spot of bloopers and botches in the history of 365 PWA, was the Unbreakable Table. Now, there was a night in, it was like a Halloween show in Cambridge, Ontario, and so like all the wrestlers were dressing up, and it was like a 6-man, no DQ, hardcore match, and I was involved in it myself, and somehow I remember Jeff Black was dressed up as Cactus Jack at the time, and he attacked me at some point when I wasn't paying attention, or I was down and out, and he threw me on this table, and then he jumped off the side of the apron with a big Cactus Jack elbow, and the table didn't break, and then Ricky James tried one off the apron as well, and it didn't break, and then Jeff threw Lenny at the table, it didn't break, and he did like it's like an Alabama slam thing through the table and didn't break, tried to pile drive Joey Allen, didn't break, and it ended up on Botchamania, and it got a lot of views on some of the other social medias. The Unbreakable Table comes in at number 1 on the list, so number 5, Eric getting his leg stuck, number 4, me tripping on some lovely ladies, number 3, Tex blabbing away into an unturned microphone, or a microphone not turned on, and number 2, multiple rope breaks, and number 1, the Unbreakable Table. And now we're going to go to the last top 5 list. This is top 5. This is for me personally, because it's my show. I mean, I do it for you guys, but it's for me. The top 5 moments in the history of the Weekly Whisper. And at number 5, I gotta go, when I did my birthday episode, the cameraman did a quick run-in that I was not expecting, and slammed some cake in my face, and it just made for a great moment, and I thought that was pretty funny.
America!
There he is. So the cameraman gets and thanks for you. Happy 6-month anniversary to you, cameraman. Cameraman with the cake in the face, number 5 on the top 5 Whisper moments. Number 4 is, I've been trusted with so many exclusive announcements. Like, they like to make a lot of announcements. I know there's Dr. Walls out there in BC, and then also all the people that run the social medias for 365, and they make a lot of announcements. And they've given me a couple exclusive ones to premiere here on the show. Like about a certain title belt, or a certain match, or a certain event upcoming, and I just really appreciate that they have trusted me that my platform could be somewhere to get these great announcements to premiere. So that's number 4 for me, is all the exclusive announcements I've got to premiere here on the Whisper. And number 3 Whisper moments is all the sponsors and people that have generously donated some money towards the show. And the Lenny commercial, like, I didn't get any feedback on that. Was that not great or what, for the Lenny t-shirts? I don't know. I thought it was so great. Great enough to be number 3 on my top 5 Whisper moments. And at number 2, I have to say, I used to do a thing called the Rumor Roundup, and I even said this. I even said, these are not true, don't take them as facts, I'm not reporting them, I'm just talking out of my rear end here. But yet, some of the rumors got buzz and got people talking and questioning if it was true or not. I even remember I made a rumor about Nolan James moving to Ontario, and multiple people asked me about it, and a bunch of people asked him about it because they thought it was true, and to me that was just a nice little feather in my cap, gave me a good chuckle, and it's awesome to know that people actually watched the show too as well. And the number 1 thing, Whisper moments for me, has to be all of my great guests. My very first guest, the Queen of Horror, Sabrina Kyle, she'll always go down as history as the very first guest on the Whisper. Joey Allen, who made another appearance right before live events got closed down, as we were talking about an upcoming match. Nova did a quick thing. Jordy Taylor has done a couple videos. Too Magnificent Nikki Martin, Tex Lexus, a couple other people. and I just appreciate them adding some name value to the show, and I can't wait until I can have guests coming on again. I feel like those are my best episodes, to be quite frank. And then one other thing to do, the top 5 Whisper moments: cameraman cake in the face, number 4, the exclusive announcements, number 3, the sponsors and the paid advertisement, number 2, the rumor roundup buzz that I got, and number 1, all the guests. But the only thing left to do is like, or you get a leg drop, comment, or you get a clothesline, subscribe, or you get a suplex, share, or you get a sleeper. I'm here, and I've been here for 6 months. I love wrestling. Cuba!